Hey everybody, this is Joseph S. Samaniego, the author of the Carolingian Age series, and I am back again with another short history topic video. And one thing that you'll see in my newest book that's coming out, and it's talked about in other books, is the mercenary companies. Now, mercenary companies in the Middle Ages was pretty common. There's a lot of famous ones, and just like there's a lot of famous knights, you have knights like John of Gaunt, the Black Prince, William Marshall, um, John of Montfort, Falstaff, Bertrand de Lucien. Probably saying that wrong. My French isn't as good as my daughter's, but anyway, they all have one thing in common. They were military leaders. Some of them, however, kind of worked for themselves, and John of Montfort was the Duke of Brittany, and his main rival was the famous mercenary Bertrand de Lucien. There was also, was it John Harkwood, I believe was his name. He was the captain of the White Company. Bertrand de Lucien was the captain of the Free Companies, which encompassed a lot of more different companies. You would have heard their name, the Free Companies, from The Knight's Tale, 2000 film starring Heath Ledger. God rest him. And the Count Adhemar was the captain of the Free Companies. That was kind of a play in there that they used. Now, the Free Companies was similar to what we would consider to be a mercenary company, and others were the Catalan Company, the Navarrese Company. And the Catalan Company actually became so big and so successful in the Byzantine area after working for the Byzantine Empire during the Crusade times, that they controlled a large swath of land in Greece, in what is now Greece. I want to say it was the Duchy of Athens, or near the Duchy of Athens. Italy was very famous during the Renaissance, during the days of the Medicis, for their mercenary companies. We know for a fact that many companies sprang up at that time to work for the Medicis or the other families around that time period. These companies would be just as wealthy as some of the lords that hired them, and there was a certain honor system with them. A lot of people look at the mercenary companies like brigands, who were basically expelled from armies for the lack of fighting. There was no fighting to be done, so what do? You fire your soldiers. Mercenary companies were a little bit different than this. Those brigands or fire soldiers would actually sometimes turn to highwaymen and robbers, criminals. Whereas mercenary companies, while they would pillage lands and do criminal activities as well, in many cases they knew, though, certain aspects would hurt them financially and business wise for later on. So they would not have as many cases of that as often. More times that was happening during war, as opposed to just in, not during war. A lot of that stuff would come back and bite them if they were to engage in criminal activities such as that. And then also in that way, it kept them busy looking for work. So a lot of the mercenary companies that you see in films kind of just sitting around doing nothing probably wasn't really the case. More than likely than not, they would have been looking for their next job. There are many tales of mercenaries, just like with pirates, that they could spend up to $8,000 in a day on lavishes and luxuries. So they had to keep them going. We see contemporary sources in fantasy literature and in movies and films. I already mentioned about the Free Companies being used in the Knight's Tale film as a small plot device, because you do see Adhemar at the battle during the 100 Years' War. I want to say it was the Battle of Poitiers. I don't know. Was it Agincourt or you? My daughter's here with me, so he was at one of the battles, and you see it in Game of Thrones as well. They talk about the Golden Company, which was started by a Targaryen prince, and then you have the Second Sons, which Dario was famously a member of, and Jorah, I think, was a member of the Golden Company or the Second Sons. He was a mercenary, and Bronn obviously was a mercenary, independent. And a lot of these were called sell swords. You also had hedge knights who would be looked at similarly in the same vein, because they would basically work for money instead of fighting for their lords or the lands. They were fighting for money. So that's what you kind of had with the mercenaries. And you see that in my newest book, Scorned. But in my most recent release, Fated Kings and Queens, I'll show you right here. Sorry, it's backwards. It is talk about mercenaries there. One of the supporting characters' mothers had actually joined a mercenary band. Aino's mother was famous for joining a mercenary band, so she had to, and that was looked at in a certain way depending on who you were and what country you were from. So mercenaries are a big part of the military in the Middle Ages and in Renaissance, and so they're a big part of our fantasy culture and fantasy literature as well. So be sure to check that out. Check out my books. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. I'm going to be posting some more videos. I got some good ideas coming up, and if you have any comments you'd like to share, please do. And till next time, this is Joseph S. Samiego saying like and subscribe.